The man with the broken cornhole. Let's talk.
This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. That's right, the video game show that is not hosted by an annoying e-beggar. There are no Patreons, no Super Chats. That's right, we just talk about the games we love and how fun it is to hoard them, and maybe a topic here or there. Now, with that said, let's get ready for the show. On today's episode...
Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Guys, I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, and I just cashed in another ticket on college football yesterday, so I had some time. I'm cooking right now, and the wife is out, so let me take a few minutes while my rice cooks, right, to make this video and put my thoughts down, regarding John Alvarado, right? From what everybody says, anybody says that has ever met this gentleman, he's a great guy. He's a very nice man. He's very pleasant, right? And I trust that everybody that has met him is being honest with what they say, right? I absolutely trust it. He might be the nicest person on earth for all I know. But this video is not talking about his personality, right? This video is to talk about his job performance within television. And when it comes to that, it's been a complete failure, right? The console never launched in time. Things never got done. Why? Well, that's the $1 million question, right? Now, let me tell you guys. First of all, this video is not to criticize him personally, but to analyze the situation, right? And for you to value and evaluate companies in the future when you see situations like this. Number one, maybe you're a business owner, and when you should make changes, why you don't hire your boys for for particular jobs, right? So let's get into it here. Now, what do we know? We know that the console never launched. We know that the games are unfinished. We know that there's a lot of problems still with this machine, right? And it was supposed to be out in 2020, right? So we can fairly say, right, with certainty, that he has not performed well. I got a lot of grief by the Amico community when I said that, when Cornhole wasn't as much fun, basically wasn't working, that he should be fired and replaced, right? And that was nothing personal, right? This is what I was evaluating at the time. Here you have a man who's getting the paycheck, okay? This is work we're talking about. He's getting the paycheck. He's hiring his family members. He only talks about the one Alvarado that's not related to him, right? But we know that he has family members working there or were working there whenever there was work, right? So for the amount of benefit that he got from the company, his job performance was lacking. Now, a lot of the people that, again, met him or saw him or whatever would always say, hey, he's working really hard. Well, I beg to differ, right? He might have been working really hard, but not effectively, right? Number one, how do you know that he was working really hard? You don't know that. You don't have the technical know-how to know whether he was working hard or ineffectively, or you just don't know. But we can judge results. What I know for a fact is that these type of games could be outsourced for about $150,000 a year. Put two guys on it, right? Get them done sooner. Now you're at $300,000. This is what this gentleman has made here so far as we know. And we're not counting 2022, right? With all that failure, remember, he was still due for further compensation. I don't know what kind of jobs you guys have, but when I fail miserably, if I'm behind 2 years on a project, I am not getting additional compensation. As a matter of fact, most jobs, if you're not doing your job within 90 days, all you get is a swift kick in the ass, right? And this gentleman, whether it was his fault or not, did not perform. He has a job title. He's taking the money. He also has to take responsibility for his failure. And this has got to be one of the cushiest jobs ever, because this man has completely underperformed and never gets blamed for anything. You know, he's he sat there in that Tank video, right?
So Amico fans disagreed with me that he should have been replaced after Cornhole. What about Tanks, right? Was he not the chief technology officer then? Wasn't he the head of the department? He appeared on that video. That video game was not only incomplete, but it had borrowed assets. That sits on his shoulders. And let me tell you how damaging this was for the company back then. They were trying to regain credibility, right? They're trying to raise more money. And this just turned out to be a complete shit show that buried him. There was no point in making any more videos with this type of quality software. And that sits squarely on his shoulders. He's taking the paycheck, guys. He needs to take the responsibility.
He was in charge of that, right? But he got none of the heat. Tommy got the heat, right? Now Phil's getting the heat. But the fact of the matter is, neither Phil nor Tommy were working on the console. He was what is his title? So if you get the money, you get the responsibility, right? But there's a lot of things to digest here from a business point of view. Number one, you shouldn't hire friends for important stuff like this, especially if you don't have the expertise in the same areas that they do. Right? Now this could be Tommy's boy and they're gonna ride till the end and that's fine, right? That's fine. If you have a company that you own and that's the one the way you want to run your business, that's absolutely fine. But you as an investor, you have to look at these things and kind of step back, right? You have to know that if something is going south or not working, you need to be able to remove that person, right? And if you see a company or a corporation that is not making changes when they are failing, do not invest in those companies, right? Because they will put their friendships over their duties to the investors, right? And they will lose money over firing their friend. Now, is that the case here? No, from what I see, right? From what I see from the outside, once I called for his firing when the whole Cornhole debacle went, and everybody started being a little upset at me, but I was doing it out of business sense. Hey, this guy's not cutting the mustard for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. He could be a great guy, but at the end of the day, he's not getting shit done, right? When you're not getting shit done, you got to get fired. You got to get removed. But when that happened and he didn't, there was no change in course. They were still following whatever they were following, and they weren't making any significant changes to the company. I knew there was going to be huge problems. Now, Tommy Tallarico comes across to me like the Jerry Jones, right? I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, right? And the reason we haven't won a championship in the last 25 years plus is that this guy has his hand on everything, right? John Alvarado could be working very hard on something he's almost finished, and then by the time he's finished, Tommy would go in there, no, I want you to put this in. Oh, no, stop doing that. I want you to work on this. Oh, I want this. I want that. We don't know, right? But there is a price to pay when you fail. You can't walk away scot-free after all this failure, after all these millions of dollars spent, supposedly on the development of these games on this console, and have absolutely nothing to show for it. You can't be having issues just before a supposed production, right? Are they throwing them under the bus and saying, well, we're not putting it out because it's John Alvarado's fault, he didn't program this shit right, or his department is doing a crappy job? Yeah, basically they are.
What percentage of the blame would you give John Alvarado for the console being in the state it's in? For the games not being right? For the company and the state that it's in? Guys, the major reason this company is the way it is, the major reason this console is the way it is, it's because the technology hasn't been there. So let me ask you, what percentage of the fault would you give John Alvarado for this console and these games not being finished?
Right, and it could be, man, it could be that Tommy was just driving him nuts. But nobody ever holds him responsible for anything, right? Is it because he talks to you on the chat? I don't know. But when you're looking at businesses and when you're looking to invest, this is not what you want to see.
New videos every week. Make sure you don't miss out and subscribe.